What does it take to get into an elite business school? MBA Crystal Ball is a boutique admissions consulting firm. Each year, we help a select few applicants get into the world's best business schools. Here's one of our success stories to inspire and educate.
Hello and welcome to MBA Crystal Ball YouTube channel. Today we have with us Sumeda, who approached us while preparing for her GMAT. She started her application journey without a score at hand. While this is usually risky, she was confident, and that showed up in a stellar score and some eye-popping admits with scholarships. Let's hear her story. Welcome, Sumeda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Manish.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure to having to speak with you. So, as a starting point, could you give us our listeners a little bit about yourself, your qualifications?
Sure. Hi, I'm Sumeda. I have been born and brought up near Agra, in a town near Agra in India. And I did my schooling here itself. And I went for my undergraduate to VIT Vellore, where I majored in computer science. And after that, I joined Schneider Electric as a graduate engineer trainee. I also am a founding member at a non-profit, Zarurat Care Foundation, which is an integrated platform for patients with rare forms of cancer. And I also am a trained classical Kathak dancer, which I have been doing since I was born, like I was 4 or 5. And I also love anything fitness related, to be honest. I love running. I have ran a few half marathons over the past years or so. So yeah, that is a little bit about me.
That's great. So tell us a little about this, non-profit that you established. When did you start? What was the motivation? And where is it currently?
Yeah. So, well, it was started by the co-founder of the NGO, Priyanka. She and I are friends, and she started it in the memory of her mother, late mother, who passed away due to a rare cancer, gallbladder cancer. And in December of 2023 is what, she was thinking of starting it. In late 2023. Then in December, she approached me because we had already discussed about the NGO, and then she and I really liked the cause. I really believed in it, that we should help patients who, especially in India, who do not know how to navigate cancer. Because it's really scary, the word itself, when the doctor tells you that you have cancer, for example. Scary for you, the patient, and the family, the caregivers. So I really wanted to join this initiative, and hence I joined this initiative in December 2023. And I've been working with the NGO ever since. And yeah, that's how.
Give us a glimpse of your work at Schneider. What kind of profile did you have? What did you do?
Right. So I joined Schneider right after VIT. After I was placed, it was through a campus placement. I joined initially. First, I interned with Schneider for 6 months during my last semester of VIT. Then I joined full time as a graduate engineer trainee. My work with Schneider, started from, since I come from a technical background, started from basic, like the coding part of it, and then when I grew from GET to analyst, and now as a senior analyst, it went on to owning certain deliverables to now leading digital transformation projects. So that is how the journey has been. And over the past 4.5 years or so, I've been with Schneider. I've led quite a few digital transformation projects involving Schneider's European as well as American businesses, digitizing a lot of factories that Schneider has in these regions. So that is a little bit about the work. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And so where did MBA come in? When did you kind of start thinking about it? Why did you start thinking?
Yes. Well, the seed for an MBA was planted quite initially during my undergrad days. So I used to see a lot of my seniors preparing for CAT, not international MBA per se, but mostly CAT. and I saw a lot of my peers as well going for MS. Um, so for international MBA, there were like three major things why I wanted to go for an international MBA, not Indian one. Firstly, I wanted to work after. I wanted to work a little bit after graduation, undergraduation, so that I gain some amount of exposure to the practical side of things, which could not have done it in VIT, which I couldn't do in VIT. So that was one thing. Secondly, I feel the kind of diversity that an international MBA classroom offers, and also the global network. Those are the three things. And I was recently, I'll share one interesting thing also why I said that. I recently met with my current batchmates, the B school batchmates in India. And out of like the 20, 30 people who are going from India to the B school, other than one person, I did not find anyone else had the same like kind of tech background. That was really interesting, and I was surprised because when we were meeting in Bangalore and nobody having a technical background was surprising to me. So yeah, I mean that is the kind of I think the thought put into choosing the people. So yeah, I
Right.
think
Right.
I love that.
So, when it began with a thought, then, help us understand, how did you prepare for your GMAT and why did you decide to kind of start the applications in parallel to the prep?
Well, my GMAT has been quite a journey. So many doubts, and then finally an up. But I had to do a lot of retakes. I started my GMAT once I was confident that I wanted to go for an international MBA, which was around 21 itself. So that is when I thought like later 2021, I thought I'll just start preparing for GMAT because that is generally the first step when you are planning for an MBA abroad. So, I joined a few classes, but it didn't work out well. Like I initially got a 690 and I just stuck at that. And then it went to a 720. And then I was in the classic and then I was just stuck. But in 2024, I was like, I really wanted to go to class, like to go to school this year because I thought that I had gained enough experience and I wanted to jump the ladder. So, I knew that I had to, what parts were missing while preparing for GMAT last year. So I knew that I had issue with, say, the timing part of it. I had to do a lot of timing practice, but my basics were clear. For example, I got a quant 100 percentile for when I got my final score. And my basics are pretty clear, I would say, for quant. And I owe it to, my mentor, my quant mentor, Saurabh. He really, really helped me with everything quant related. So, yeah. So my basics were, I felt pretty clear. And I think when I found out that this is the problem, the timing issue, and I focused on it, I got my score. And funnily enough, I got my the current 705 after 2 weeks, I think, after I submitted my application also for the two B scores that I submitted in November. And yeah, I got my score. I still remember I got my score on 15th October, and Booth's interview, which was a Wednesday, and Booth's interview results came out that Friday. And I remember telling Yudhaji that Yudhaji was my consultant with MCP. I told him that, I got my score, etc. He was like, did you tell the B schools, did you inform them? I'm like, no, I'm waiting for the GMAT score, GMSU to send the final scorecard. He's like, no, you send them right away and later you send the score again. So, I mean, that worked out pretty well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the timing is very critical in these things. So, help us now understand, how did you kind of decide, or, first, why did you decide to work with a consultant and how did you discover MBA Crystal Ball?
Yeah. I did talk to other consultants as well, along with MCB. And what I really appreciate about MCB was that, when I've initially, I was talking to you over email, and I really liked I really liked the questions also that you asked in the initial, the form that we had to fill. And when you replied, you underscored what things can be used for my essays that I really liked. I also love the fact that right after I wanted to, I wanted to talk about GMAT, talk about my applications. You directly connected me with the consultant, and the consultant, he was also very, Yudhajit was very uh, supportive of me. He took a whole, I'd say, whole half an hour to understand what I wanted, understand what schools I wanted to go, understand where I'm at the moment, my scores, etc., what I do. He really took a lot of time to understand my story and then share his perspective, which was even before I made my first payment. So I really felt that the person was really invested in my success. So those things are what I really liked. And I did go to other consultants, and I one consultant was I wouldn't name them, but one consultant was really I did not even talk to the consultant. I just talked to some representative from that firm, and the person was like, you don't have the score, etc. Your non-traditional background, etc. You should not consider M7. So I mean, and you know what the results are. So
Yeah,
well,
absolutely. Absolutely. And let's double down on that. So non-traditional, right? I mean, as they say, for an M7 kind of a thing. So, just kind of help us understand what were your concerns, and what kind of strategy you adopted to stand out, amongst the kind of, let's say, overrepresented pool that you came from.
yeah. First, I was very scared with respect to, well, obviously one was score, but the other was that I am coming from a technical background,
That's right.
which is, well, and I'm an Indian, and Indians are quite overrepresented. And then secondly, the technical background, I was really scared that, generally people do not go from a technical background. That was my thinking. I didn't know if they went or not. I just assumed that they do not go for an MBA, and it's difficult. If they go, also it's difficult because I did not see a lot of people from my company, as well as the teams or the teams I had interacted with. I did not see a lot of people going for an international MBA. So that was a real concern, and I did put that with the MCB consultant as well, and he really pushed me to just be myself and just write that what I am, who I am. I just wrote those things, literally the things, my achievement at Schneider, the STEM background that I come from. He was literally like, just you should just own it, because it's a great background to come from. And the minor things, for example, my PCOS journey, for example, I did not think that would be something relevant to put in an application, an MBA application. But Yudhajit was like, no, it is a journey. It shows who you are. It shows what journey you have lived with, what things you had done in the past. It is a part of who you are. So you should put it up, and that really helped me, and I did put it up, and it was so these small things which I think you don't personally did not feel are relevant, but the consultant made me showed it to me that yes, these things are relevant. So yeah, those things are what
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
really
And, with this approach, right? I mean, you notched up quite a few interview invites, right? I mean, so tell us what kind of, where all did you interview, and anything, kind of that sticks out, right? I mean, from the interview experience itself, that you'd like to share.
Sure. So I got Booth, Kellogg, and Darden interview invites. Booth and Darden round one. Kellogg was R2. Um, well, one thing that stuck out with Darden was the interviewer I was told will be interviewing me, but was not the one. They changed my interviewer, and I was just when I went on the call, I was like looking at a whole different person, and my full whatever I had researched about my interviewer just went to a toss. So, and they did not have anything like no resume, no application, nothing, was just open interview.
Blind.
So,
Yeah.
so that was that with Darden, but it turned out well. And with the Booth had was the best interview out of all the three, which I felt. We talked about for like over an hour. The time was we booked, like, the slot was for like 45 minutes. We talked for over an hour, and we were just it was just normal random conversations at the end which we were having. Like we were talking about so the interviewer was also Indian, and she was also from the Delhi region, and I also kind of am from there. So we were just normally randomly talking about those things and like how things will be at like are at Chicago, etc. So it was a breeze, and she really like made the effort to make me comfortable. Like, and it was not the interview did not even start with like introduce yourself and anything. The first question she was like, so what fun did you do this year, etc. So it was like pretty great. Kellogg and Booth in Booth they had my resume. They did not have my application. Kellogg was also similar to Booth. Uh, well, it was 45 minutes or so. It was stuck to some time, but it was good. I even at Kellogg, I felt that it was good. The normal similar questions like Booth had, like same introduction about me, my MBA, etc. And the behavioral questions, whatever those, similar to Booth. And yeah, so those were my interview experiences.
Right. And so now with the drum roll, tell us where all did you get admits, what scholarships, and where are you headed?
Yeah. So I got Booth and Darden admits, and I got in scholarship at Darden, 70K. Uh, so yeah, and I'm headed to Booth.
Right. Okay. So now that this journey, is kind of done and you're, headed to, let's say, one of your dream colleges, any, sort of advice you have for future applicants, that you'd like to share, including, how did you make the decision between, these two choices, anything that you'd like to share?
Well, I personally would say that try to apply in round one, but not at the cost of your application. Definitely never at the cost of the application. But if possible, try to apply in round one. Because by round two, when I had to admits, I felt I was pretty lazy also at the end.
Yeah.
I was exhausted, quite exhausted, because I was doing GMAT and applications together. So I think that was me. Also, I felt that when it comes to round two, I think the class, whatever they are thinking of, is already made, and they might want to fit, like looking at like where you fit in the class, rather than taking risks where I think they do in round one is what I felt and with my personal experience. But yeah, that was what I would say. And unlike me, you should prepare earlier, well in advance, and have a GMAT score. It worked out well for me, but it is exhausting when you try to do everything together.
That's right. Avoid the nervous moments, the nick of time that you managed it.
Yeah. Perfect. Those are the two things I would say.
Sounds good.
The rest, I think, worked out well.
Got it. Thanks so much for sharing, those words of wisdom, Sumeda. All the best. And we'll look forward how your journey evolves from here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We hope you found this interview helpful. At MBA Crystal Ball, we've helped many applicants get into the elite business schools, often with scholarships. Reach out if you're looking for professional help with your applications. Good luck.